Hello everybody, hope you're doing okay, and welcome to an old track here between Farringdon and Hampshire and Tisted. Now, would you believe this used to be an old railway? So I'm trying to combine some of my passions tonight. I'm going to do a little run on an old railway. I've got a Strava segment I need to try and recapture, and I need to do some strides, I think, for my sub 60 400 metre project. So just assessing what shoes to wear on this thing. It's quite a bumpy old track if you look closely at the ground here. So at the moment I've got the Adidas Adizero Pros on, which I think they might be a bit too soft for this. So I think maybe the Adios might be better. I've also got the Brooks Hyperion Tempo in the car. I thought I might give them a go actually as well, because they are very light and finding them reasonably firm. So they might be good for this sort of trail. But let's have a little run and see how we go. Yeah, so I'm just running along now in the Adizero Pros. We do feel a bit too soft for this terrain. Quite hard and rutted underfoot. So I think I might swap them out for something else. So a little historical interlude. I was standing on the site of Farringdon Station, which opened in 1931 and closed as soon after as 1955. It was part of a line that went from Alton to Fareham. So the site is now occupied by Farringdon Industrial Centre behind me, which I parked my car. Now if you turn around here, it's quite interesting. There's a big cutting that must have been the approach to the station. And there's a public footpath that goes up alongside it, which we're going to run up in a minute. Hello, I just want to interject with what I'm planning to do on this session. So there's this segment called Balls for Sale, which is that bit which is parallel to that cutting I was showing in the clip just before. So that's just a short sort of sprint segment uphill with 7% for about 200 meters. So I was going to be testing out the different shoes in that one to get a feel for then how I wanted to go on this long segment between the stations, which is Farringdon to East Tisted, which starts off going up the Balls for Sale hill climb, and then it's a gradual 1% rise along the old railway track. Okay, so I've got the Brooks Hyperion Tempos on, which I thought were quite firm, but now just walking around on the road, they feel quite soft. So I can run up this hill and see how they feel just running up the hill. Okay, so run up that hill in the Hyperion Tempos. They feel a bit better actually. I think the carbon plate definitely doesn't help at all on this sort of terrain. I think I might try the Adios and maybe even a Streak LT4. I'm not quite sure I really want to run for 10 minutes that way in the Streak LT4 because they're like spikes with no spikes. But I might put them on and give them a go. I think I've got the Adios or the turbos may be okay, but probably the Adios may be the best bet because they're probably the firmest of the Adizero shoes. And that's, when I did the shoe off test recently, I did remark that they were the firmest, didn't they? So that'll be also the shoe that I used to wear in this sort of terrain. So I think we'll put them on next and see how it feels any better. So I actually managed to do 57 seconds for the segment up the hill in the Hyperion Tempos. These are now the LT4s. Now you can see these are ultra minimalist shoes. I think these are the shoes that Mo Farah used to run the London Marathon in before Vaporflies came out. Don't know how he does it. I mean, these basically are sort of like spikes without spikes. Ultra minimalist shoes. You can see there that a bit of Nike Zoom heel unit, but pretty low to the ground. And I think for an uphill segment these would be ideal because I'm not going far and the lightness should help. These are I think just under 200 grams in my size 13, which is extremely light for a shoe of my size, and only spikes go lower than this. Right, so let's give these a go. I've also got in mind to run to the next station, which is Tisted, which is about a 10-minute run for about 1.5 miles, but I'm not sure whether I'll try these or the Adios. So I'll try these first up the hill and see how I feel in them going a bit further. Right, let's get these on them. Okay, so I hope you caught a bit of me going up the hill. I just left that strategically halfway up the hill. It's very quiet around here, so I'm hoping that no one would spot it. And I mean, a black GoPro and a black shorty stick, it might have been camouflaged anyway, though someone might have tripped over it. Anyway, it's only another 30 seconds up the hill to turn around. So yeah, they felt nice and light. They really fit me really well, these ones. So I was hugging shoe, and you sort of really appreciate with my narrow foot how a sort of a very minimalist narrow shoe can work. Just don't get the cushioning, but I'm not sure if we're going to need it on this actually. I might just try the Adios just to see. I think that's kind of these are quite flexible, these LT4s as well, so when you sort of go over the bumps, I'm hoping that you kind of ride over them. There's a bit of cushioning in them, I have to say. I'm just walking around the road here, so we'll see what time I got for that in a sec when I upload it. So just 1 second quicker in the LT4, 56 seconds, but in a sub 1 minute segment it all helps. It's only an average speed of 647. The gradient of this one is 7%, so that's a bit of a shock. This is actually the start of the segment to the next station as well, so I'm going to have to do that again to do the full segment. So I think I'm going to have to run up that a lot slower. I think I did 107 when I did my best time on this, but the course record guys did a 102, so because sort of controlled effort up the hill I think will be required. And do I wear the LT4s or do I wear the Adios? Let's just try the Adios and see how they feel in them. Okay, so it wasn't quite as fast as in the Adios, but I think I was trying quite as well. But it did feel quite good actually in terms of like how it felt on the ground, because nice and sort of low to the ground, but not so much that I was actually feeling it. So in that sense, just a bit more cushion than the LT4 for this. So I think because I'm running 10 minutes there, 10 minutes back at a reasonable clip, I'm going to give the Adios 5 a go for that, and sacrifice a bit of weight on the initial uphill, which I need to take slow anyway. So I'll hopefully there'll be something interesting to see at Tisted station, because that's been a restored station, whereas this one there's not really anything left other than the embankment, this sort of infield cutting as it were. Right, so let's get off to Tisted and report back there. See you in a bit, bye. Oh, catch my breath. So welcome to East Tisted. They've got the old station behind me, I think it was just called Tisted. There's a West Tisted and an East Tisted. That was a really hard run up the railway, because you went up that 7% hill, and the rest of it just felt like it was on a slight uphill all the way into the wind. So, and the surface wasn't as firm as I thought it would be, because it's a bit under the trees. So I think I had Adios with the right shoes, but I think I probably could have got away with the LT4s on that course, but another time. Anyway, it should be a bit easier going back because I've got the wind behind, but my legs were dead. I think all those sprints up the hill didn't help either. Anyway, let's go and look at this station. So this concrete track went over the railway with the Tisted station on the left, and a bit of overgrowth on the right. So a quick look on the right, see what we can see there. It does actually turn into a runnable path later on, but it's clearly been a filled in cutting there, and it goes through fields, and I remember about half a mile down it comes into another path, whereas this side it's to the station. Can't actually see the carriage that well at the moment, it's a bit hidden around the foliage, but there is a carriage there, and on some track. It's sort of like a waiting room type affair, isn't it? So very nicely done. So I believe this station closed in 1955 as well as Farringdon. I think they ran freight on to about 1968, something like that. So it was actually a station that was closed even before beaching, but survived a bit longer, so it wasn't needed. So I was just alive. I was born in 1966, so a lot of these old railways never saw. I do remember seeing one in Wimborne. So they had freight there to about the late 70s. I remember seeing that when I used to go and visit my granny down that way. Right, I need to run back now, I think. Had a bit of a rest. I think it's about the same again, about a 6:30 effort, 6:20 effort, but it might be slightly easier if we're one of those courses that might feel like it's sort of permanently uphill all the way because you're working hard. But anyway, needs to get going. Right, see you in a bit then. So hello, we've arrived back at Farringdon. This is roughly where the station was, I think. Well, this is like this, at least this is a flat bit at the top of the hill. No evidence of the station now. It was only a one platform wooden station anyway. I think only enough room for one carriage, so this was never exactly a very well used line, but a nice little place to come for a run. So that was very hard work. It was definitely harder going out. It was slightly uphill going out, and it felt like it was into the wind, and then obviously coming back the other way I had a bit of advantage of a sort of -1%, but on tired legs. So yeah, pleased with that, and the ground was not quite as dry as I thought, so I think the Adios 5 was the right choice, but might have got away with the LT4. Might have even got away with the spikes in the winter actually. I've done this one in the winter and it's been a lot muddier, but it's quite nice today. Nice to run these courses in the summer when you can. Okay, better get home now. So I hope you found this interesting, and see you on the next one. Okay, bye.